morning. This is Jennifer Dawn Blonde and Young. It is Friday, July the 26th at 11:09 a.m. Happy Friday. I had an interesting evening. I was lucky that the people that are attacking me on a daily basis took a small break until I started watching a movie. It's called The Gray Man. It's got Ryan Gosling in it. He always brings a smile to my face. He feels familiar as a person. I hope he's as lovely and bright in person as he is on screen. But the minute I put that movie on, I started getting terrorized again, distracted. Somebody really digging into the core of my synapses that are firing in my brain that affects my mind's eye, my center, my identity, my I. And I want to bring this up, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Jacques Lacan and walk around the world to get to my point. So, Jacques Lacan was introduced to me by a family member, and I was asked by this family member to see if I could find in ancestry a relative by the name of Marie-Louise Blondet, who was born in France. And she, in her own namesake, did some lovely things. She was an artist, an illustrator. She was of the camp and the mind of being centered as the individual I, as one, as your identity. Some people call it a soul. And she used to go to exhibitions as an independent artist, never a part of anything, as a we collective, didn't buy into the savory secret sauce that is what sometimes marries church and state and barriers and boundaries that limit your potential creativity, creatively. And she, caught the attention of Jane Austen. And she ended up illustrating in Pride and Prejudice. And the other thing she did was marry a Mr. Jacques Lacan. Jacques Lacan was a psychoanalytics professor, is a question mark. My research is limited. He was an amazing man with a lot of thoughts. And he had interest in Sigmund Freud. And if you research Jacques Lacan, he speaks very specifically to certain areas of our one, ourselves, our I. Sometimes people call it a soul. And one of them is the mirror. The other is drive, desire, ego. There's a few more. You should have a read. He's quite interesting. And he gathered my attention in around the mirror. And the mirror is interesting. I have my version of the mirror, and Jacques Lacan, his is written very well, but so architecturally designed with specifics that it left me wondering, and that's a great thing. And so instead of making it my own and paraphrasing it and sampling it and reselling it to others who are looking to hopefully mend a broken spirit, I didn't do that. I read it over and over and over again and sat within myself and thought, what does this mean for me? How do I see it? And this is the way I describe it. So I ask you to imagine something here. If you can close your eyes. Your mom, your beautiful mother, is pregnant with you. And you're just a seed at this point, an idea of love between your father and your mother, the creation of you. And they're a vessel. Your mother is a vessel, and you are one human cell that keeps replicating. And you're growing, and you're making yourself. Your mom is providing the nourishment and the love. And you're growing, and you're growing. You're growing, and your eyes are almost fused shut. You can't open them. You're breathing in amniotic fluid from your mother, and that with that comes nourishment. You're listening to the sounds and feeling the vibrations of her breath, her hiccups, her burps, her laughter, her tears. You feel and sense everything. And that special day comes, and the room that she goes into is quiet, and all you can hear is And on what would be the floor are instead pillows that look and resemble clouds. And she lays down, and you come out, and you open your eyes for the first time. You fall to these clouds, and she just fades away. You haven't met her yet. Not physically, anyways. And your eyes open, and you take your first breath. And you see laying beside you another baby, another light, another infant. What was your first thought when you saw them? Remember, your body is defragmented from your mind's eye. You might have facial expressions. You already have a personality. You already had a first thought. But you don't know English, Korean, Japanese, Russian, German, Portuguese. No, it's a transmission of thought. You already had one. What was yours? Mine was, what the fuck are we doing here? Which tells me I already had my identity. Anyways, I hope you have a great morning. Kicking it off with something that gives me joy and happiness to speak about. I hope you have a great and lovely day. Happy Friday.